I told you I would be back, and this week the Blood Angels army gets a little bit bigger as I intend to paint up a squad of mean looking Terminators. I have a few ideas on how I can make them look unique, so queue up your snacks, break out your paints, and join me as today we paint some Blood Angels Terminators. Now somebody hit that intro button. Terminators are so iconic in Warhammer 40k, and since I started on the Blood Angels painting journey, I've been looking for any excuse to start painting some. I just think that their aggressive stance and those big armor panels lend themselves to really cool different ways of painting. So when I put the poll up and most of you voted that I paint Terminators next, I was so excited that I broke out into some crazy breakdancing moves. A big thank you to Mperor for sponsoring this series. They are an amazing team and more on them later. Today we are going to take a closer look at the sponging and stippling method as a way to generate a weathered armoured look, and we will explore some ways to make areas like our model's eyes and those lenses really pop out on a dark model like this, all whilst keeping it simple and achievable. As I prepare to build the models, I've printed a handful of third-party bits that I think will suit them. If the odd part fits and looks nice, that's a bonus, and I like the idea that my models will look a little different from most people's. These ones are from Grey Tide Studios for info. Plastic glue creates such a tight bond, but just remember to switch across to super glue for any resin pieces that you include. I often get a handful of comments relating to what weapon options I select, and honestly, I'm just a rule of cool kind of guy. It's about what interests me to paint and look at, and the Terminator with Cyclone missile launcher was the first Warhammer model I ever saved up and purchased. I still remember it. I was a young kid working my first job at a cafe scrubbing dishes, and after work I ran down to Mind Games and found this model on a blister pack on one of those spinning stands. The model is built and I've primed it with black, and I'm going to add my base of sand and cat litter now, just so I'm not trying to add this later once my model is looking pretty. And I begin with the sponging and stippling with a brush. You've seen me perform this technique before, but as a reminder, or for those that are new around here, okay, oh my god, hi, welcome, my name is Mike. Anyway, I'm thinning my paints down the same as if I were painting layers with my brush. The sponge itself is a piece of packing foam, and I'm just dabbing that onto the model. Now there are plenty of hard to reach places, so I never try and force it. Instead, I switch across to a brush and I'm almost like a tattoo gun here, and I stipple the paint on in a jabbing motion. The black base is important because parts of this will be left behind and this acts like shadows. And the brown first base coat is all the dirt, grime and battle damage that your genetically enhanced super soldier has accumulated and is wearing with the pride of any chapter honour. You can see that I'm working my way through the reds from dark to light, and I pop the colours up here in the corner in case you're the type that wants to colour match. But those aren't the colours that featured in my recipe over a year ago when the army started, so what gives? Yep, I'm happy to stray outside of the lines with my own painting recipe and just let it develop over time. Recently I've been really enjoying painting with the Army Painters War Paint Fanatic range, and in particular their new John Blanche Masterclass series, which are a lot darker. I'm really happy with how the armour is looking. A few of the panels haven't been touched, and that's because I will go with a secondary accent colour here, just for some variety. And as I shift into painting these, let's take a look at how this squad fits into our Blood Angel Strike Force Forlorn Peril. The last time we left our story, the mighty Imperial vessel, the Rancor of Baal, was en route to deliver a reprisal strike to Hive Fleet Leviathan, but they were pulled prematurely from the warp due to a psychic overload that killed their astropath. The cruiser dropped immediately into orbit with a Tyranid splinter fleet above an unknown world. Captain Sirius Corridon, charged with command, sensed the dire outcome likely to occur in orbit, and he has led a company dropping onto the surface of the planet in an attempt to identify the source of the psychic nexus. The Rancor of Baal has fled, and now the company find themselves cut off from support, resupply, and the light of the Imperium. I think it's fitting that a squad of Terminators dropped at the same time. However, they used a teleport relay to blindly jump onto the planet to avoid the risks associated with dropping from craft or drop pods and attempting to navigate Tyranid attacks upon their descent. Vox comms are down, and this squad of Terminators have spent weeks making efforts to link up with Corridon's company, leaving a wake of slaughtered Tyranids behind them. They are low on ammunition and their armour is caked in debris and damage. Will they make it back to support Captain Corridon and his Marines? Pitching t-shirts and VPNs to you guys doesn't feel like a good fit, but I tell you what is, and that's Warhammer models at an amazing price. The team at Mperor are an Australian company that reliably bring you Warhammer models for a significantly discounted rate, and at the same time, you are stockpiling loyalty points to spend on adding even more delicious models to your cart. The biggest prop I can give them is the fact that I've been buying models from here years before starting the channel or pairing up for a sponsorship. If you are from elsewhere in the world, I have some special links for you below, but if you find yourself in the land down under, it would mean so much to me if you consider trying them out. Back to the painting. Now the model is very dark overall, so I'm looking for a few ways to bring some brightness to just a couple of select areas. I picture overall that the Terminator is in this low-lit dark environment that's really dusty and he's just stomping through these ancient ruins. So I'd love that the first thing that we see through the cloud of dust are these piercing bright eyes and weapon sensors. So I use a bright white for the base and then I apply a coat of semi-transparent fluorescent colour. You can leave it as it is, but I spend another couple of minutes with some thinned right down greens to the point where they are just coloured water, and I glaze this below the eyes of our Terminators. I like the way that this helps sell the glow effect. And speaking of glowing, get a load of the radiance that these amazing people are bringing to the channel to make it look so pretty around here. They are supporting the channel financially for as little as $1 a month over at Patreon. To give you an idea of just how amazing they are, each of them have been supporting the channel for a long time. And by shouting me cups of coffee through Patreon, they allow me to stay up late at night and edit. I wouldn't be able to do that off tea 1,000 times. Got there. Skynet. More layers of grime, more. Thinning down a brown and an orange, I can cut laps here, washing this into the recess areas to look like rust. Now's a pretty good time to ask you what I should add to Strikeforce Forlorn Peril next. The theme is mainly jump-packed, fast-moving models, and also elite dreadnoughts. I only have the one Furioso dreadnought so far, so we could look at adding something like a Death Company dread. Or maybe you were itching to go bigger again and have a tank in mind. Or maybe you are sensing that I need some more troops. Either way, let me know down in the comments what way we are leaning, and the videos can continue to follow the love of the community. Speaking of community, we have a hobby Discord that you are welcome to jump into and hang out with us. And our podcast is zooming along and we are having so much fun, so come join the other listeners and have a laugh. We've just finished off our RPG set in the Warhammer 40k universe and I know that you will love it. Can I interest you in checking out some Grimdark Terminators painted in an ominous style? I can? Then let's do it! You amazing people are the reason that I keep making these YouTube videos. So honestly, from me to you, thank you so much. And you've made it this far through the video, so if you're enjoying it, by hitting the like button, this tells YouTube that they should recommend it to other people in the hobby that haven't discovered us yet. Now, I mentioned the Discord community, and I have a little bonus extra for you as you're leaving today, and that's in the form of inspiration. The Discord community have been painting up squads of Terminators as well, and they'd love to show them off to you. So please, thank you so much again for hanging out with us today, and now, get out of here. I'll see you on the next video.